Welcome to Luminance TV. Today, we delve into a case that tests the boundaries of criminal investigation and human nature. Join us as we analyze the perplexing and tragic case of Tricia Todd. Her disappearance and subsequent murder unraveled a web of deception, culminating in a chilling confession and a consequential plea deal. Dean John Todd urgently reported his sister, Tricia Todd's, mysterious absence to the Martin County Sheriff's Office, highlighting her unusual failure to collect her daughter, Faith, from the babysitter. Deputies found Tricia's house undisturbed, but her car was irregularly parked nearby with her purse and keys inside, minus her phone and wallet, triggering a missing person alert. Known for late-night beach walks, speculations of an accidental drowning emerged. The investigation took a turn when Dean revealed that Tricia's ex-husband, Stephen Williams, was likely the last person to see her. This detail was significant as Stephen, a former Air Force member with a clean record, was in town visiting Faith, and his involvement as the last known contact placed him at the center of the timeline. Despite his cooperative demeanor, the circumstances, his presence in town during her disappearance, their past relationship, and being the last to see her, painted Stephen as a person of interest. These factors, combined with the oddity of Tricia's disappearance under seemingly normal conditions, necessitated a formal interview with Stephen to uncover any potential motives or information he might possess regarding Tricia's sudden vanishing.
I text her, like, hey, baby, super fuzzy, I know it's late, but if you're up kind of thing, like, would you mind coming to comic or whatever, and then she would text back, like, on my way. Awesome. So, a few days go by, she comes over, she sits with Faith. Faith is happy now, 12:30, 1 o'clock by now.
Probably at the minute.
Yeah. She leaves, Faith is asleep, and then, well, she doesn't leave, actually, since her car was out of gas. Which, that really frustrates me. That's her thing. Her car never has gas in it. She mentioned there's a gas station down the street, and I was like, you know what, gas stations, gas cans, you got any money, I'll just drive my car, I'll go get you a gas can and some gas, no big deal. So she gives me a 20, I leave, the gas station's maybe a half mile down. Get the gas can, pay for it, get 2 gallons of gas, leave, put the gas in her car, and then I told her, good night, basically. I'll contact you tomorrow, or you can call me or whatever. That's it. Next day, Faith wakes up, I take her to Walmart. And I messaged her that day after getting no reply. Straight to voicemail. I'm like, that's annoying. I don't want to stay here all day. Like, I don't like driving at night. So I was like, you know what? I'll just take her to Denise. That's where I picked her up from anyway, and that's who normally watches her.
Stephen's decision to leave his daughter with the babysitter and exit town without confirming Tricia's whereabouts is alarming. This act could be seen as child neglect, showing a concerning disregard for his daughter's welfare in the absence of her primary caregiver. Moreover, his apparent indifference towards Tricia's safety amid her mysterious disappearance casts a dubious light on his concern for his ex-wife, adding a layer of suspicion to his character in this investigation.
What do you think happened to her?
I don't know. It would be like 1 in the morning or 3 in the morning, and she'd be like, oh, I wanted to go for a walk. She would say, like, I want to talk with God. But it's like, at 2 in the morning, you're just going to be walking the neighborhood by yourself. Like, you don't even have, like, some pepper spray. You don't have your phone. Like,
Is she that kind of person that's oblivious to that stuff?
She's always had that, like, God will protect me thing going on. Like, nothing will happen to me. I'm a child of God. Thinking, like, that's good to have that kind of faith. But it gets to a point where, like, let's be reasonable here. Like, good people still die every day.
There are times in life where things happen that we wish we could take back. And if this scenario that's involving you is a scenario where you either accidentally, intentionally, I don't know, did something, now's the time to tell us.
I still care about her. I just don't want to be with her.
Tricia Todd was reported missing on Wednesday.
We don't want to miss something.
Sheriff William Snyder says there's no timetable to call off the search, not ruling anything out at this time.
So we don't have any evidence of a crime, but we have very suspicious circumstances under which she's missing.
In a massive search, Over 60 volunteers and deputies scoured the Florida scrub near Tricia Todd's home, racing against time for clues. The intense search, fueled by hope and determination, dominated breaking news. Everywhere, missing person flyers with Tricia's image blanketed the area, rallying the community in a united search effort. In their deep dive into the case, detectives unearthed alarming details about Stephen's past. They discovered he had a history of violence, including a disturbing incident where he had harmed Tricia's puppies and an arrest for domestic abuse against Tricia herself. Her mother hauntingly recounted an episode where Stephen, in a shocking act of cruelty, punched Tricia in the belly, hoping to induce miscarriage. This heinous act suggests a darker motive, perhaps indicating that Stephen did not want a baby with Tricia, possibly feeling trapped or resentful in the relationship. A critical inconsistency in Stephen's account emerged when neighbors reported seeing him driving Tricia's car, a fact he had conveniently omitted. This was a pivotal moment, as Tricia's car, initially found at her home, was now a significant piece of the puzzle. The quest for tangible proof led investigators to gather surveillance footage from local businesses. The surveillance footage proved to be a game changer. It starkly contradicted Stephen's claim that Tricia hadn't left until 2 a.m. Instead, it captured her car in motion at 1 a.m. This discrepancy sharply turned the investigation's focus toward Stephen, solidifying his status as the prime suspect. Further scrutiny of the footage from various angles brought another critical detail to light. A figure bearing a striking resemblance to Stephen was spotted walking near Tricia's home during the early morning hours. This individual's distinctive gait, captured in the dim streetlight, bolstered the growing suspicions against him. Moreover, this sighting implied that Stephen might have driven Tricia's car to a certain location and then had to make his way back on foot, a detail that significantly aligned with the time and location discrepancies in his account. These accumulating pieces of evidence, the violent past, the unaccounted use of Tricia's car, and the surveillance footage, formed a compelling case against Stephen. This led to his recall for another, more pressing interview, as detectives prepared to confront him with these new incriminating findings.
The neighbor saw you leaving her car. He saw you going back and forth. You recognize this area here?
That's the entrance to the community, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one way in, one way out. So we see her pulling in, so I will wait.
At the time you said she came over.
Perfect. 1:20, there goes her car, coming out. A couple minutes later, that same car, her car, makes the U-turn, right here. Okay?
And that.
We see the car coming back in here. So literally went towards her house, came back. Why is that?
Oh, it didn't go home. You know the cameras get footage of the sidewalk all the way up to this one.
And people on foot also. Around 4 in the morning.
4 in the morning. I'd be asleep by then. I did tell you that that camera at that computer place is HD.
It's you walking.
Understanding Stephen's narcissistic traits, the detective strategically used this insight in her interrogation approach. She attempted to build rapport with Stephen by subtly casting Tricia in an unfavorable light, a technique aimed at exploiting his egocentric behavior to elicit information or a confession. This method reflects a nuanced interrogation tactic tailored to the suspect's psychological profile.
You got a lot going for you. You're good looking, you're young, you got straight, and you got this crazy ex. She's come after you before. Did she come after you that night? Something happened. And you were just, oh, what do I do now?
No, she never came after me. Nothing.
It's an overwhelming amount of evidence pointing at you. So help me continue painting this picture of you. I just need to know where she's at.
I don't know where she is.
Even you know where she's at.
I don't. I really don't.
I need you to work with me. I need to tell them that you're being 100% honest with me.
First time I left,
Okay?
she asked me to go back and get her laptop so she can keep working. I said, okay, you don't make it here. She's happy. So that you don't have to leave. And she freaks out. I'll go.
Okay.
So I leave.
Makes sense.
Your door barely had it yet. And I'm thinking I can make it, but it doesn't look like it. I just turn around and go back. And she's back. She was on the floor. And she wasn't very responsive. And I kind of freaked out. And I'm like, oh my god, now she's lying on the floor. She's not responsive. And this looks really bad. Because I can't explain. And all I'm thinking is, I don't know why you're doing this to me when I've done nothing but try to be a good person to you. So I just put in the car. And I'm just driving and thinking.
But she passed away in that car. It was nothing you did to her. She just passed away. And then you freaked out even more. Is that fair to say? Did you just lay her down somewhere? Out in the open?
Yes, I just let her lay there, so peaceful. You're just lying there, you're breathing shallow. I can't call.
Breathing.
I don't know where the hell I am.
We had already determined that she had passed while she was in the car. You can't go backwards. Tell me she was shallow.
Shallow. Really shallow. I was hoping she would just snap out of it. Come back. After I dropped her car off, I just changed. I didn't want anything to do with it.
Where did you change your clothes?
It was right there. Threw the whole bag away. I didn't ask for this. I just wanted to come spend some time with my daughter. I don't know what's going on. I just don't know anything.
She was in here and she was playing this way.
Was this carpet here?
And all I thought was, this is some kind of like trick. This is some kind of like ploy to get back at me or to mess things up for me.
How long was she on the floor before you decided to check her or do something with her?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I just...
What did you do with her?
I just put her in the car. Just freaked out. I didn't know what I should do at that point.
The detectives, keenly observing Stephen, grew convinced that his display of distress was nothing more than a carefully orchestrated act. His pretense of being upset, marked by dry-eyed crying, didn't escape their notice. Yet, they chose to play along with this facade, subtly letting him think he held the upper hand. In a strategic move, they gently suggested that guiding them to the location where he claimed to have last seen her would be his best move. Intriguingly, Stephen acquiesced to this request, setting the stage for the next phase of the investigation.
We're going to go south on US 1.
None of this looks familiar. None of this looks like
So have we gone too far?
I have no idea.
Do you love your daughter?
Of course I do. Of course I do.
Okay. You need to give her mother back to her.
I can't.
Okay,
And
I told you she's gonna need some type of stability.
I have no.
And you're all she's got.
I don't even know
You
where
are the
this
only
leads.
living parent that she has left. You need to show her that she's gonna grow up saying, my dad was something to my mom, and he left her out. Is that what you want your daughter to grow up thinking? Knowing? Then take me to her. You have to. Stephen, you know.
Place, I don't know. I don't.
The only reason you're not taking me there is because something else happened to her that night.
The detectives' search with Stephen proved fruitless as they aimlessly drove without uncovering any trace of Tricia. Confidently, Stephen assumed he had outsmarted the law and would be returning home unscathed. Unbeknownst to him, the detectives had a different plan. Amidst his narrations, Stephen had inadvertently revealed a critical detail. He had left his daughter, Faith, alone at home. Seizing this opportunity, the detectives astutely leveraged this admission against him. By arresting him for child endangerment, they not only held him accountable for this oversight, but ingeniously used this charge as a tactical move to extend their window for interrogation, keeping Stephen within their grasp as they continued to unravel the mystery surrounding Tricia's disappearance.
Try to do CPR, call 911. You don't do any of that. You go and put her in her car.
That's what I thought. I can just take her home and she can out of my hair.
But you didn't.
Because
you wanted her out of your hair, and you got it.
Because I didn't.
You got it, and I'm gonna prove it. There really is no emotion in there. There really is nothing in there for her, huh?
I'm going off of what you're saying. I wanted her to not be dead in my home. I wanted whatever this was to not be affecting me the way it was.
It's Tom Backall. Oh, we haven't met yet. What's your name? First thing I need you to get me over is you could tell them this initial version of events and leave out this whole, as you said multiple times, stupid laptop thing.
Because it was stupid and it didn't make sense.
Something doesn't make sense, it's generally not true. That doesn't look good. If I got up and I sat over there and you sat here, what would you think of me telling you that? Right?
Yeah.
You come back and Tricia's laying on the floor with an injury. You know, 911, boom, cops are there, and she gets treatment. And you did not do that, right? Do you have a conscience?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes.
And as she's laying in the back of the car, your conscience never kicked in and said, maybe she's still alive. Maybe I should take this opportunity to save a human life. Not just a human, but the mother of my child.
So you're insinuating because I didn't think that I don't have a conscience?
No, I'm not insinuating. I'm saying it.
You make it seem like I had this whole grand... I don't have any plan.
No,
I didn't know any...
This was the most poorly executed murder in history.
I didn't murder her.
Okay.
Despite the efforts of two detectives employing aggressive interrogation tactics, a confession from Stephen remained elusive. Their confrontational methods only served to push him further into a shell of withdrawal. It became clear that a shift in strategy was imperative. Enter Detective Dan Duloc, a fresh face in the department, embarking on his first major homicide case. His arrival signaled a pivotal turn in the interrogation approach. Recognizing the ineffectiveness of previous methods, Dan's involvement was crucial, introducing a new dynamic that might just penetrate Stephen's defenses and finally unlock the truth.
What I want to do is try to set the stage so that you can actually tell the narrative about what actually happened, which is not that you planned all this. You know, it's maybe you guys got in an argument. Maybe it was over the computer, maybe it was over the gas.
Because if you're telling you that she attacked me, that's just another different story that you're just going to be like, well, that's 5 different stories he's telling now. And that doesn't help either. So what do you want me to tell you? What do you want me to tell you, Dan?
I want you to tell me the truth. The truth is never anywhere near as bad as what people will believe if you let them come up with their own story.
I don't believe I hated her. I never hated her. I didn't.
So tell me that story. I think you're a good guy. You're a family man. You're trying to do the best that you can. Okay? I know you were there. I want to give you the opportunity to tell me what happened.
People's imaginations will run wild, and they will come up with the most horrific things.
I don't even know where. Just don't know. It just happened.
Talk to me about from midnight.
I would never text her otherwise. It was
Right.
already late. She had already left. I would never text her.
And you're a good dad.
That's it. That's all I was trying to do was just be a good dad. Just, okay, you want your mom? Fine. Like, I'm not going to deny you that, you know? Talks about nonsense and bringing up child support and just more stupid stuff that I just, for the most part, tried to ignore. And then, yeah, there was a mix-up with the check, but that's not my fault because you told me this was your address. So, yeah, that's where I mailed it to. And then she's telling me that's not the mailing address. So I'm like, that's not my fault. If you told me you moved, I did the responsible thing, and I made sure the check was going to go wherever you moved to if you're not at your mom's house. And then she's just going on and on and on. Now I owe her more money and back child support. And it's just stupid. I was like, just let me have your account information. Just here's the account number, and I'll direct deposit it, and this will never happen. And no, that's not gonna work. You can't do that. You owe me all this money, and I don't want this. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why you're so mad. I don't know if you took a freaking crazy pill all the way over here and that really pissed her off. And it just escalated. And then I just moved her away, and then she slipped. And that's when she freaking fell. And I'm like, oh shit. I asked her if she was okay. It was like a weird sound. She didn't say anything though. And then I freaking panicked. And then I just freaking panicked. And it just hit so fast. And then I pushed her. And then it wouldn't push. I was trying to get her away. Just please stop yelling in my face. It's like, just, you know, like if she was at that distance, fine. But she wasn't. And I'm like, please just stop. And so I went to move her away, and she slipped, and she hit her head, and I didn't mean for that. That wasn't my freaking fault. I wasn't. And then all I'm thinking is, great, now I've pushed her, and she's hurt her head, and I'm done. I'm just, everything I've tried to do, everything I've tried to be is done because I made a mistake. I didn't even lose my cool. I just tried to move you away. I just did. She's very messed up. All right.
With the accumulation of evidence, the clear animosity, Stephen's web of lies, and, most crucially, his recent bombshell confession, the detectives now had substantial grounds to charge him with murder. This confession was the breakthrough they had been tirelessly seeking, a testament to the successful approach of the new detective, whose strategy had finally cracked the case wide open.
First, our top story, an arrest, as you heard, in the disappearance of that Hope Sound mom, Tricia Todd's ex-husband, charged with her murder.
Right now, the sheriff's office is focusing in on an area of the Treasure Coast for her body. Kelly Dunn begins our team coverage from their command post in Martin County.
That's right, Ashley and Michael. We are right off of Bridge Road, just west of I-95, where the sheriff's office has set up its command post. Sadly, they are on a search for remains of Tricia Todd. It was learned today that indeed she will never be coming home. She was murdered and her body was dumped.
Stephen's confession revealed a chilling premeditation. He had acquired a chainsaw and acid, and even prepared a grave in the Hungry Land Wildlife Reserve. His intent to kill Tricia was clear, but he hesitated initially. On the day of the murder, he deceitfully lured Tricia by claiming their daughter was ill. His first attempt to strangle her was incomplete, as he waited for her to regain consciousness to extract her email details, intending to send deceptive emails suggesting she was on a mission trip in Haiti. When she woke up, he brutally assaulted her with a club and then strangled her to death, all while their daughter slept nearby. Stephen then disposed of Tricia's body at the prearranged site, dismembering it and concealing it in acid. In a bid to avoid the death penalty, he led authorities to her remains, settling for a 35-year plea deal. This harrowing tale, unfolding through Stephen's calculated and heartless actions, reminds us of the depths of human depravity. It's a sobering reflection on the darkness that can lurk behind a facade of normalcy. Thank you for following this intricate case on Luminance TV. If you found this investigation as captivating as it is tragic, please subscribe for more deep dives into true crime stories. Your support helps us continue to bring these important stories to light.